Oh, here we are.
I'm
Well,
waving.
I see the hand.
Aw.
Good. I guess I'd
Hey,
say good afternoon. Hey, Amy, how are you?
hi, I'm good. How are you, Scott?
I'm great. So glad to get to see you. I mean, it's been forever.
Oh, I know I missed you.
Thanks.
He's our
Well,
flower dad, everyone.
oh, well, thank you.
If we
Well,
don't know what something is, we just ask him because he knows everything.
well, everybody, in case you don't know, this is Amy Osaba of Amy Osaba Events. Amy was one of our early episodes on the Flower Podcast, episode 3.
Really?
And so, yeah, we need to do an update. We need to do another episode here soon. So, and catch up. Anyway, it's so fun to see you surrounded by flowers.
It's fun to
Um,
be with flowers. I miss flowers too.
oh,
So
so
crazy.
I
I
know.
feel out of shape. I feel out of shape.
So have you had a lot of, I mean, everyone's had everything, canceled or postponed. Has pretty much everything been postponed for you to later on in the year or?
Yeah, we're really thankful that no one canceled. They just rescheduled. So I
That's
feel
good.
really fortunate. Our clients are great. And it was a lot, but it was a pretty easy process. My team got on it really quickly and they were amazing with what our kind of protocol was going to be. And,
Sure.
it was pretty seamless. I feel bad for all of our brides
Yeah.
and it just breaks my heart for them. But everybody seems to be taking it in stride, and we're gonna just, I think next year when all of these brides' weddings come around, it's just gonna be even more special for them. So
Oh, I agree.
yeah,
I agree. I love that. I love that. So let me know. Okay, so obviously you're not doing a wedding this weekend, and I know normally after helping you for years, this is usually a busy time of year for you guys.
yeah.
And so why all the flowers? What are you doing?
Well, it was really exciting, and I have to say, I'm just so thankful to have work right now, and we're able to have a couple of freelancers, so keeping everything kind of rolling. But one of our former clients from a long time ago, we've been friends with them now for, I think it's been 5 or 6 years, but they own Castellucci Hospitality Group, which is a lot of restaurants here in Atlanta, like Empyrean Pig, Cooks
Hmm.
and Soldiers, Recess, Bar Mercado, Sugo up here where I live. And they asked us to partner with them for Mother's Day. So, of course, I'm going to jump at the chance. And I just love Lauren and Fred. They've been really generous to us. Even since they got married, we did their daughter's birthday. And so it's just been a great relationship that we've kind of built with them. And so when they asked us to do Mother's Day bouquets, I was like, sure. So I didn't know it was going to be like 250, but that's
Oh my
cool.
God.
We have like a whole shop here, like making 250 wrapped bouquets. But it's been really really fun, and thankful to play with flowers again.
Right.
I had to learn
Well,
how to wrap a bouquet like this. It's totally different.
I know. When I was talking with Mary the other day, we were talking about that a little bit, and I think you too. I
Yeah.
want to make sure that everybody who's joining us knows if you want to ask a question, because we've minimized the screen for the comments because we want to see Amy. She's going to do a bouquet for us. And so at the very bottom of your screen, there's a little question mark where you can tap that and type in a question and it'll pop up so that I can share it. So for everybody out there that's watching and joining us, you can pop in a question there. That'd be great. And I'm excited. So I know that your bouquet style is of course incredible. I can't imagine how do you convert that into a Mother's Day bouquet? Because you see all the beautiful form and the shape and the
Yeah.
colors, and then you wrap it in paper. It seems like you're restraining your creativity a little bit. Have you? I don't want to make one other comment. I want to go back and make one comment because I thought of this and I don't want to miss it. What a brilliant idea to look at your resources, this relationship you had.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things as people try to figure out the new normal, try to figure out how to progress. What resources do you have? What relationships do you have that you can partner with people?
Yeah.
And I was shocked. I mean, I can't believe you said 250. Is
I
that what you
know.
said?
Yeah. At first they said 500. I'm like, oh, yeah, we could totally do that. These are the times where you don't say no to anything.
Right. You just don't sleep or
Yeah,
something. So yeah.
you learn as you go.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, great. Well, I want to see, do you mind showing us kind of what you're doing and
yeah,
how you're
absolutely.
going about it?
But I wanted to say too,
Sure.
and I don't think you can order anymore, but at each one of the restaurants, they were doing a Mother's Day meal that you could pick up, and then if you wanted, you could get some Mother's Day flowers, which I also thought was brilliant because they're not opening their restaurants yet, but
Okay.
such an incredible opportunity for no contact. And so on their website, you can order your Mother's Day meal from each one of the restaurants, and then you could add on some Mother's Day flowers for any of the dads
Yeah.
that might have just not gotten to the store yet to get any flowers for the moms for Mother's Day.
Well, I mean, but also if you're trying to limit your contact because you're trying to be careful,
Yeah.
one-stop shopping is not a bad thing. So,
Absolutely. So
yeah.
we've been working with our masks and gloves and everything just to make sure everything's safe. But for the purpose of today, I'm not going to. I didn't think that you'd be able to really hear me.
Yeah.
You know.
I think we're safe here.
Yeah. So, but again, I'm just so thankful that they reached out and we've been able to make this happen, during this time. Yeah, you definitely have to start thinking about how you're going to continue your business. And, one thing last year, I decided to let my studio go. And I feel like now that was such a huge blessing because if I had that overhead, I mean, it would be a much bigger challenge. So I'm very thankful for that. We do most of our production and everything on location because we travel so much. So
Right.
I just didn't feel like I needed it. Anyway, here's our beautiful bouquet. This is a finished product.
That's gorgeous.
And I will say, it was funny because when we started putting these together, I immediately just started doing it like a bride's bouquet or a bridal bouquet. But once you kind of put it in the wrap, it's not the same. So we definitely had to, it took us about 2 hours to figure out how to do this. We were like looking on YouTube, what's the best way to wrap? I mean, it's so funny. I've been doing flowers for a long time, 17 years, and I've never really figured out how to properly wrap a flower bouquet. And so anyway, I feel like I'm learning too in all of this new stuff. So you ready to start?
Whenever you are. That's great. Yeah.
So one other thing that was really new for us, I'm not a recipe. That's not how we even do our flower orders. Mm-hmm. But for this, to make sure we have exact quantities and that we had enough, and
right.
One was, pretty much the same, I had to do a recipe. And we had to be really strategic about exactly what was going in there, how many blooms, what were we going to forage to make a profit. So it was a little bit of an interesting, experiment for us because I never really had to do it that way. But
right.
But I ended up learning, some new ways to fix our bottom line or keep our bottom line where we want it. So anyway, we foraged some Iliagnus down here in the South. I don't know if they have it. I mean, I feel like it's only in the South. Scott's the flower dad, he knows. But this is, we use this all the time. It can stay out of water for so long and it still looks beautiful. And I love how it has this different color on the back. It's sort of like a silver iridescent.
Yeah.
So we start with our greens and we're only doing 2 greens in each arrangement. So I'm going to take an Iliagnus. I feel like I this piece better. And then we foraged a little bit of this. And Scott, I feel like a lot of people said these are different things. What is this?
Looks like privet to me.
I think it is too. And privet, you know, has the really pretty black little berries that we all love, but
Right.
it blooms and it looks like lilac.
I agree.
I think it's pretty. So
I love it.
We use it. It's just huge right now all over the South. It's blooming everywhere. It's so pretty. So again, I started like my bridal bouquets. I start with an X, but it doesn't really matter. I don't know if you can see the table. Let me lay it down. Is this helpful? If you can see the table. Can you see the table there?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, and somebody asked what the name of the greenery was, and the first one that you picked was Iliagnus.
Iliagnus.
Well,
yes.
And the second one is privet.
Yes.
Which is both things that she foraged.
Right.
Which is kind of fun because if you can forage responsibly and you can forage, you know what you're foraging.
Yeah.
Then it's a great way to make your stuff stand out because it's going to be different than things you'll see anywhere else.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This is a good talk and see. I mean, and even in our huge events, I prefer to forage because I feel like anywhere you are in the country, you can use things that are local and it makes it feel a little bit more, you know, in congruency with the land and where the people are. So, you know, it makes them feel a little bit like they're at home. And I just think it makes things look a lot more natural.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yes, foraging responsibly is huge. Most of this was in my backyard, but I have a really sweet secret spot for my Iliagnus that I know I'm allowed to get from. So forage responsibly, please. So anyway, I'm just lay everything down on the table to do this, which is completely opposite of my normal go-to. I'm just gonna lay everything down. Can you see it okay there?
Yeah.
And again, the way that we kind of worked our, I feel like you're talking to my chopped off head, but the way we worked our budget was we did a couple of stock, one big bloom, one or two tulips, and we had anemones, one ranunculus. There's our pretty little bloom in here.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm just laying it down, and you know, it looks kind of layering it a little bit where some are taller than others, blowing out the bloom a little bit so it's not so tight. Layering it. This is just like they do, you know, whenever you go to a real florist shop. So I've just like laid it where it's layered like this. I'm gonna cut all of the stems about the same, and you have to make sure that all of them are the same length. I'm going up here like I'm talking to the thing because you want to make sure that everything gets in water.
Right.
I made that mistake on the first few because sometimes whenever we're making regular bouquets, you know, we keep them in water but differently than this. So eco wrap.
Yeah. So how do you like, I mean, has that been an easy thing to use for these bouquets, the eco wraps?
I love it. I love eco wrap. I feel like I'm still talking to your, I'm going to pull it up just a little bit so you can see.
That's cool.
So we found out about this last year, actually, through Steve Moore. He posted about this stuff, and I'm like, this is incredible because you can use it on installations. Just wrap a bunch of whatever, a cluster of flowers, and you wrap up the stems, and then you can kind of poke it into installations. But for this, it was perfect. You just soak it in water. It gets really good and saturated. And then I just take it out a long way, you tell, and just wrap it, fold it up over the bottom of the, make sure you do this where you can let water drip, but make sure that all of the bottom of the stems are good and saturated. And then put a little wrap around it so the tissue paper doesn't get soaking wet because then it'll rip. Wrap it up. Little wire twine, bind wire, one of my favorite things ever. We use that in installations all the time.
So Amy, someone's asking about where do you get eco wraps?
Go to their website, or it's Eco Fresh. We can, um,
Yeah,
I'll get
we'll put a link.
Mary to find out exactly, but it's, if you just Google Eco Wrap or Eco Fresh, they're a great company. She was super sweet. Because of COVID and everything, one of ours wasn't arriving on time, so she sent another one overnight for us because, you know, we were on a timeline trying to get 250
Sure.
things done. Let me get a towel really quick to wipe off so I can do my.
Right. Well, and the one thing I love about these, Amy, is they're so quick. I mean, that was.
It's really easy. Yeah.
I mean, it's something because I mean that's always one of the big expenses in doing things like this is labor, and if you can crank out several an hour, I mean, obviously
Yeah.
more than several, but
We ended up timing how fast we could do 10. So we got our system going, and now we can crank out about 10 in 45 minutes. So, but kind of figuring out our system was a little tricky at first. I'm just gonna throw these down on the ground, and then I'm gonna show you. This was the hard part for me, figuring out how I was gonna do that. Can you see the table?
yeah, well, I can see. Yeah, I think so.
Sorry, major little adjustments, people, so y'all can see what's happening.
Yeah, well, that's the important part. So it's all good.
So I like another layer of this pretty little tissue on top of this is just like wax paper, the bottom layer. And it was funny trying to figure out how to make this work where we could transport a lot of them and still kind of, you know, look on brand how we wanted it. I just layer it so that there's two little points up at the top. It's like a rectangle size. I don't know. It's probably, well, I can give you the measurements if you ever wanted it. But
yeah.
Lay it on the paper. This was the part that took me so long to figure out. And you just kind of fold it over one side. This, you got to get all those, I didn't want any of the stems to show.
Right.
Fold this over and
voila.
Finally figured it out. But see, I didn't really do anything design-wise, really, for the flowers, but it still looks pretty. It's kind of when they're all just in there, it looks good.
Yeah, I mean, you got beautiful flowers, and you know, and then they can design it when they get home. Really, I mean,
right?
It's
I mean,
you know,
who knew how easy that was? I mean, I'm like, I felt like we should do this a lot more.
You should be like shipping the Amy Osaba bouquets out into the universe.
I wish. I know. I actually did look into shipping, but you know, I don't know, it might be something that we pivot into eventually.
Sure.
Because the cost and it's not ridiculous, and it's so easy. It's not that time consuming. It's not like producing a huge event, you know. Pretty little stickers that Mary Wynn designed for us.
Oh my goodness. Now, okay, so can you, you know what, maybe adjust the camera back so you don't have to hunch over.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, like, what was the time period that it took for you to put all these pieces together?
Well, they reached out to us probably like the end of April. And let's see, we started production on Wednesday. So, I mean, it wasn't that long, but, you know, we immediately hopped on it and kind of researched what we wanted them to look like. And I knew that I wanted some of our branding on it, and they were cool with that. So, we got these made real quick. Vistaprint. This is not an ad, but Vistaprint was great. And we made these cute little, we insert these, and it has a little Mother's Day message on the back.
How cute. What does it say?
It says, it's really small. I can't read anymore. We hope this bouquet of flowers from your loved ones brings you much happiness, joy, and we sincerely hope you feel loved and appreciated on this special day. Wishing you safety and good health during this time. Happy Mother's Day. You know, I just wanted to have a little bit of branding because I know when they get home, they're going to throw this away because we're probably able to reach a lot more people that might want flowers for
Yeah.
birthdays, other occasions. So, you know, a little bit of branding. It didn't cost that much. We got like 500 for $100 or something. So there it is. That's
Yeah,
it.
I love the sticker and they coordinate and
Yeah.
I think it's that's pretty cool.
I mean,
So
still I feel like on brand for us, but you know, it's doing this many is just like producing a huge event, or not even that hard because it's a lot less logistics, you know. So I'm thankful to be able to do it, and everything came together so easily. Lauren and Fred have promoted it a lot, and you know, so they've gotten a lot of good feedback. And it's funny when we posted the flowers yesterday, so many people were DMing asking if they could get some Mother's Day flowers from us. And I'm like, I don't want to say no, but
right.
at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I can get all of those delivered now.
Right, right. Or, or find a pickup location and to coordinate that
Yeah.
and keep your distancing. All right, it looks like we have a question down here. Let me see what this question is.
Yay.
So the question was, how big was your team for making 250 bouquets?
A whopping four people.
Yeah,
So,
4 people.
Mary Lynn, you know, she's my right hand girl, awesome designer. She's, you know, right and left brain, so smart. She's the one that can graphic design and do beautiful flowers. And then a freelancer, Christina Tonian. She's gonna hate me, but I call her Tone Loke because they're like Mary Lynn. Everybody has a nickname.
Everybody has a nickname if
Yeah.
you don't know
And
Amy.
another girl that's been helping me and me. So, you know, only 4 of us. We just had to have a really strategic system to figure it out. I mean,
Right.
I can show you our, you know, sweatshop that I got going on in the garage.
Well,
I really want to see it, but
well, I'm really thankful that when you made the choice to move out of your studio and become home based, because you're right. I mean, what, 90 something percent of your weddings are out of town or at least done on site. So it's not like you needed that space, and how convenient, because you're sheltering in place while doing this. And then I know Mary has been sheltering in place. And so everyone has been, taking care of themselves while they do this.
yeah.
I think it's important. And at the same time, well, how amazing, 253 of you in just a couple days. And
Yeah.
and now you deliver them. Are you putting them in just like in buckets or boxes, or how are you
Sure.
doing that delivery
I'll
part?
show you how we're doing it because, yeah, I'm like, how are we going to look, we'll go on a tour. So
Oh,
here's, this is a box of 10. Can you see?
oh, sure.
There's a box of 10. So we've been laying them, you know, I can't switch it back around, but kind of gently trying to, can you see?
Yeah, no, you can
Putting them
see.
in boxes of 10 so that we can keep track too. I'm like, we can count by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
Right.
But I mean, we have boxes and boxes and boxes of flowers everywhere. Can you see?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a
It
lot.
was a good thing it was nice and cool last night.
There's more over there. Yeah, we turned the AC
Oh my gosh.
down. You know, I have 3 teenage boys, so that's part of the reason why I wanted to be at home more. Because our studio, I was in the car like 2 hours a day. And
Oh wow.
but it's great because they help me. I mean, my oldest is 16 and he comes to events with us and breaks down and carries buckets and does all the things. So, you know, I'm thankful
Sure.
that they're seeing all of that stuff in action. So,
How does the whole school thing work out with your boys? Because, they're old enough that, is it kind of autopilot, or is it like you have to be hands on in the middle of all this too?
they're teenage boys. I'm like, I think they're turning into vampires because they sleep all day and wake up, you know, like 3 o'clock. Not all the time. During the week, but I'm also in the mindset of during this time, I don't want to create World War III with my kids. I don't
Sure.
want it to be a bad time for them. So I feel like I haven't been as much of a stickler as I would be and am normally about their schooling because,
Well, it's stressful for everybody.
it is. I mean, I feel like I have 3 full-time jobs. I'm a mom, and now I'm a teacher, and I still have to run my business. So it's been a little challenging, but for the most part, they do most of it on their own. It's just getting them up and getting them to throw stuff in the trash can. That's hard.
I understand. Well, I got a question here about the eco wraps.
Oh
So
yeah,
normally, how long will the flowers last in those? Because they're not in water, but they're on water and they're surrounded by water.
yeah. Well, the first batch that we did on Wednesday still look really fresh. Um, it's not like a paper towel where it dries out fast. It's like it's very saturated with water. So it kind of like inflates whenever you soak it. I can show you one that's not wet. So it just holds the water for a long time. Plus you put the little bag around it and tie it really tight so that
So
none
it
of
kind
the
of
water
keeps it.
seeps out and
Mhm.
none of it evaporates. I mean, I haven't tested it, but I feel like it could last at least 5 days or so, honestly. Um,
Right. Well, I know that I've used them with you and other people doing weddings and things,
yeah.
and they're great for that, especially you're doing hanging installations or you're doing things on arches and you're trying to, be foam free. But I know that in this situation, it's just what a great way to, um, yeah, especially because you're just making a whole bunch in a short period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tracy, they are like a diaper. I mean, they're not
Yeah.
quite. I don't think they have like gel in them,
Right.
but they are kind of
But
they're
you
very
literally
thick.
fold it up like a diaper and do the thing, fold it around like that. But yeah, and I don't. It seems to be working really well. I mean, I've loved it for installations. It's just a fast way, especially if you're outside doing an arch in the heat in the sun. Um, Instead of making it really heavy with Oasis or more chicken wire or whatever. I mean, obviously you have to start with a chicken wire base, but I love it. And
Yeah,
even whenever an arch is in full sun, it the blooms still stay really fresh. So it's an awesome product.
yeah, it really is.
Promote it.
The I know we're getting a question here. What kind of bag did you use to wrap or insulate the eco wrap? Does it come with that bag, or is
It,
that something?
they used to come with it, but I don't know if it's production or right now that they aren't providing the bag anymore. But we just had a Ziploc bag,
Okay,
a Ziploc, but I cut the top off because it was not. I just cut the top part, but you can get the regular sandwich bags that fold over. But
sure.
yeah, just like a little Ziploc bag. You don't want it too short because it's kind of tall once you wrap it around. So yeah, just like
Hmm.
a little Ziploc bag.
Right. And I
Um,
know a lot of people will reuse those bags on, like from event to event, or if they're trying to really be careful, or if they're in a hurry, if it's just a few, they may throw them away or something. So that's a
we
great question.
actually reused some of the eco wrap. I don't even know if that's legal or not, but we laid it out and dried them out because I mean we tested this out. Feel like I test things out a lot, but with greens I test them out to see how long they'll last. But and we laid them out like in the sun. They dried and they rehydrated.
Oh,
But
perfect.
I'm not going to do that every time because they're really cost effective. You can get like 100 or 500 for a really good price. But I don't know why we had to do that time, but it worked. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great. So when do you deliver these?
we're delivering today. We're delivering most of them to the restaurants. So because people start picking up in the morning and I think I might sleep in tomorrow on Mother's Day. I'm sure my children have something really awesome planned for me.
They're gonna let you sleep in, I bet.
Yeah, because they won't wake up until later. It's like
Oh my
if they
gosh.
think I'm awake, but they don't want me to think they're awake, they don't even come and ask me anything. So it's kind of a win-win for me because if I know they're awake, then I'll be like, you need to clean the kitchen and you need to come out in the yard and help me.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah,
So that's great. How old are the boys now?
my oldest is 16. He's driving. And my middle one is 14, and my youngest is gonna be 13 next week. So.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have all teenagers.
I know, I know. I'm really thankful Noah can drive. That was sort of a game changer because I don't have to be the only chauffeur around.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm thankful.
So I know you've had a lot of rescheduling and all of that going on.
Yeah.
Crazy. Have you, when do you start back? When does your wedding season seem to be now launching in the fall or whenever?
Well, our first one scheduled for September 24th. So, so far so good. But I think after this year is over, we'll have only had 3 events this year,
Goodness.
which is crazy, you know.
Are some of them rescheduling for next year?
Because of the rescheduling, yes.
Okay.
We had, I don't even know, maybe 30 or 40 scheduled already for this year. But because of COVID, now we'll have ended up executing 3 events for this year. Sorry, you'll hear my dog probably in the background.
That's okay.
But you know, again, I'm very thankful that no one has just canceled. They've just postponed. And the way we worked our contract, I'm sorry that she's so loud.
It's okay.
Our guard dog. But the way we worked our contract, and everyone was very kind about it. We usually make everyone pay in full 1 month before, but because of all of this and the rescheduling, we weren't going to do that. But for cash flow, we still asked if they paid 25%. And then when we get to, this is just something that we decided to do, you know, I still have employees and things. So everyone was very, very cooperative and graciously agreed to do that. So I feel like
that's a great idea.
And we've had some other inquiries, which is encouraging for next year. And yeah, so, you know, we're just going to keep trucking along, and thank you for letting us be on here with you. This is great. You know, I feel like this is the only way that we all can communicate and talk about what we're doing. So
sure,
I'm thankful.
Well, it's always fun to connect, and you know, it's great to see somebody who has an established wedding and event business figuring out a way to pivot or to evolve their business to still sell some flowers and bring some flowers into the universe. And thank you so much for this time. I really appreciate it. I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, it's definitely made us kind of look into the future and think about, you know, how can we don't know what the new world's going to be like. I feel like, you know, sort of after 9/11, there was a lot of systems that changed. So I'm curious to find out what our new systems are going to be. So it's definitely made us kind of think about what our new future is going to look like. So we might have some new things in the works. So just stay tuned for that. But
stay tuned.
I'm excited.
All right.
Thanks
well,
for
thank you so much, Amy. Oh, absolutely. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.